Welcome back to the Tu-Vie podcast. But instead of actually being the Tu-Vie podcast, we're doing something a little different. We're going to get to that in just 1 second. But of course, I am your host, James. How's it going? And of course, sitting with me across from me, actually, is our co-host, as always, Colin. How you doing, buddy?
Doing pretty good this morning. Doing
Good,
really good actually
good
because
late night show welcome. You know, when you walk in through
Mhm.
the opening curtain, like, the crowd. That was a really good. You know, if we ever get called to Jimmy Fallon or Kimmel, we're set.
Don't get my hopes up.
That'd be great, dude. Sitting on that couch with Jimmy
Don't give
Kimmel.
me hope.
So today we are doing something a little different. We are not doing anything on the Tu-Vie podcast right now. That was a lot of spit. Sorry. We're not doing anything on the Tu-Vie podcast. We are doing something a little different. It's going to be a smaller, a little shorter segment called Cinema Showcase, where Colin and I rewatch a movie we have not seen, or we invite one of our friends to come here and we watch their movie that they haven't seen in a while, and we discuss it. The background, when's the last time we watched it, first time we watched it, all these different things that is surrounding one movie. In this movie, to kick it off, is Cloverfield from 2008. We cannot hear the claps, Colin, but I will definitely put that in post production so we can get a little bit of a.
Can you hear
Nope,
that?
nope, not even a little bit of there. So
You
we're gonna.
suck.
I'll put even a
Thank you.
quieter clap on that one. But yeah, we both watched it not too long ago, so we have a fresh memory on what it is. And I want to kind of kick it off because I'm super excited about this movie.
Me too.
I'm so
Me too.
we both want to kick this off, so we got to kick it off somewhere. But I think this movie sets the like just the benchmark for found footage movies. Like I know everyone says that for Blair Witch, but
Or paranormal activity.
yeah, but this one just like because not everyone likes those kind of movies with Blair Witch or paranormal. So Cloverfield felt like the right way to kind of get into that. Good
I
gateway
would
movie.
actually I would argue that they no longer started liking it when those studios started just cranking out more and more
Well,
because
yeah,
of their
because
success.
they did some fine ones like Earth to Echo, but those kids that was kind of like ET for that little robot alien.
Wow, dude, you
Yeah, do you remember
remember
that?
that?
I remember going to see that in the movie theaters. And I remember for a funny for me because my mom could not stand that movie. She just was like, it's so dumb. She did not like it, but she lovingly took me and a buddy of mine to go see the movie.
Oh,
And
not me. Cool.
well, you left at the time. Maybe you did. I don't know. I don't think we.
No,
Whatever.
that was before you
No. Whatever.
and me
Whatever.
knew each
Well, you
other.
were busy, Colin. But and we went to
I
go
had
see it,
time.
and my mom did not, care to be there, but she still went and everything, and she was on her phone during the movie. And kind of near the end, she put it like on full brightness because there was only 6 people in the theater, including us. So they weren't. She wasn't disturbing anyone. But my buddy was like, "Here, watch this." So she goes around on the right side. My mom's sitting on the left. She goes on the right side, goes around the long way because those theaters had like you could pick either left or right side to go in. Goes around it, comes back up, and she taps my mom on the shoulder. Goes, "Man, we need you to put your phone up." And she freaks out, like audibly went in the theater, scattering the whole thing. And I thought it was super funny because it was like this random uh thing. I didn't know what was happening until right as he did it, which was kind of funny. But whatever. I think this movie,
That
like you
is
said, was a good way to kind of start setting a precedence for all these different found footage movies. If studios didn't crank them out to kind of catch up, it was like a TikTok trend where like one guy does this really funny thing, and then everyone else wants to do it.
yeah. I'd even make an argument that this not only amplified the found footage oh wow
Oh,
found footage genre, but it also amplified monster movies, specifically like
dude,
American made monster movies.
yeah, that
Or
was
I mean
so good.
I don't wait, hold on. I think there was like a manga made for Cloverfield. I don't know which one came first. I think it was the Cloverfield movie and then the
Let me
manga.
see. That
Um,
just
yep, James will correct me. But dude, like this movie is haunting to watch. Like really is haunting to watch. And I like it's no secret that like this movie is shrouded in mystery of where did the Clover monster come from? What is the backstory behind that? Which is why I did a deep dive into the movie of Cloverfield. But me and James, we both collectively agreed that we're only going to be talking about the first Cloverfield
Yeah,
movie.
this is what we're doing is we're doing each individual movie, and if we do complete a trilogy, or however many movies, let's say like the Fast and Furious movies, we once we get to the, I
Don't
doubt
make
that
me do that.
we're
Don't make
doing it. I doubt we're
don't
gonna get to that
make
anytime soon because there's so many. But once we complete a trilogy, we will of course we'll talk about that whole thing or whatever the case may be. And I did find your thing, so it is I don't know if I'm saying this right, but it's called Kishin
that
Kaishin. I don't know,
sounds
but
somewhat right.
it is a manga series that I've been reading is a prequel manga to the 2008 film Cloverfield. So I think it came out afterwards. It is though a cross media tie into the 2008 film. Um, so I believe it came out after it. I don't know how
Okay.
long after it, but I do know it's a cross media tie-in. So that's kind of cool. That now I didn't even know that was even a thing. So now I got
No,
to go try
yeah.
and find that manga
It's
and
a
definitely
very
read the hell out of
underground
that.
manga.
What was that?
It's really underground. I mean, I don't know how underground, but like you can I think you
I don't
can
think it's
read it
talked
for
about
free
enough.
online somewhere.
Yeah,
Um,
maybe I'll have it on my half price books near me. But going back and rewatching this movie, there were a lot of people I forgot were in this movie, like Lizzie Kaplan and T.J. Miller. Totally forgot that they were in the movie. And as funny as TJ Miller tries to be, he actually did pretty good in this one.
he did pretty good, and I
That's well, I
mean,
mean, Lizzie did
most of
great, of
his
course.
dialogue was "Oh my God," but you know, it's it was he did pretty good.
You are right. If you go, I honestly would love to go rewatch that movie with you, but just count how many times he says "Oh my
Making,
God" or just panics.
but we do advise not making a drinking game
Do
out of it.
not. Oh,
You
you'll be
will
sent to
die.
the hospital so quick.
Your stomach will need to be
If you need a
pumped.
surefire way to get alcohol poisoning, do that.
You would need to be punched in the gut like that guy did in John Wick to his son after he found out that he stole John Wick's car and killed his son. I mean,
It was
killed
the
the dog.
first movie.
You remember, yeah, the first movie where he was like, where that
The Allstate guy that played like Damage or whatever his name was, Chaos.
Allstate guy.
Not Allstate. It wasn't it the Allstate commercials where the guy was like, "I'm your untrained puppy," and he's like destroying the house.
No,
What insurance company did he do?
he was he's not in, I don't know if he was in
Hold on,
Allstate, but like I
Chaos
know who you're
Guy
talking about.
insurance
I
commercial.
know who you're talking about, but the joke is already done, so we're just gonna move on from
No,
it.
I am finding out the Havoc guy.
Oh
I
Jesus, this
can't
is
do.
already
It's not
unconventional.
saying which car commercial. Allstate. It was Allstate. You suck, man. I knew it was Allstate.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Ah.
I thought he was still around.
Also, did not ever know his actual name until this morning. His name is Dean Winters. A really cool name. Like sounds like a character from Supernatural. I know that's
Wow.
like
Dean
Dean
Winters.
Dean
He
Winters.
must have been popular.
Well,
God,
I mean that's like a kind of name you hear in a movie that's like it's like yeah
like a
that's
Jack
Dean
Reacher type.
kind of, but it's more like that's Dan Winters' office. He's barely ever here anymore after his wife died, and then he's like I never left. Like it's like this really random shock moments. Like you like it's the kind of guy where you always think he's the bad guy in a murder mystery movie, but he's really just a guy playing, mean to what?
That's
Batman.
Dean Winters' office.
Oh,
He's not here anymore. I never left. Whoa.
it's like, oh man. So yeah.
What?
All right, we're supposed to be talking about Cloverfield.
We have to talk about Cloverfield.
Yes. Also, Ben Feldman, who played Travis, I think that was the boyfriend to Beth, the girl that the main guy was seeing because they were having
Saving.
yeah they were both having an affair with their other, and I think he was in there. Which Ben Feldman, who was from Superstore, that show was fun for a season. Stopped watching after that, I just got distracted. But I totally forgot that this movie was directed by Matt Reeves,
You
and
could not tell.
I mean it's definitely not a Matt Reeves like film that you can kind of like compare with. But I think that's what's really cool is that they gave him this movie and he did it perfectly.
He did it
I don't think
perfectly.
there's anything wrong with it.
And I really love the archetype of the main hero trying to save the princess from the monster, that kind of like thing. I mean, I know that the monster didn't like kidnap the princess in this movie, but like
Well,
I thought it was
yeah,
pretty cool that like, there was like a rescue mission and dude, where do you start with a movie this dense?
you start
And
at the beginning,
you
really, because
start at the beginning.
it's not
So
that hard to describe, but it's basically this guy gets a big promotion and he has a surprise birthday party. At the surprise birthday party, loud. Sorry. Big spoiler warnings coming. Should probably let everybody listening know. We're gonna do it quick though. Big explosion, giant monster, found footage movie. Picture that as you will in the whole New York
Statue of
streets.
Liberty
The Statue of Liberty's head goes flying by. Whole movie takes place in New York City. I think it takes place
in one night.
in one night, and it was explicitly New York City because I remember the scene where they're
Yep.
trying to cross the Brooklyn Bridge.
Oh, I kind of gave it away with the Statue of Liberty, but yeah,
Well, I mean, Ellis Island's pretty far from like Times Square where they went to.
true, true,
So
true.
I mean that monster swung that thing across. So it's
By the
sort
way, special
closer to
effect.
Brooklyn than I think it is New York, like Times Square, isn't it?
What's up?
Isn't it closer to Brooklyn than it is Times Square
I have no
by
idea.
like a mile? I think.
I don't know.
Whatever, we'll figure it out. But you were saying?
We won't.
No, I'm
So,
gonna go. I'm gonna Google everything right now. Go on.
okay. So, one of the things, it's a small little thing that I did you have you never I have never felt like chills like hearing like a monster's voice than Cloverfield's.
Yeah, there was
Like
only two
Cloverfield's
times that happened.
roars. Like
Yeah,
it makes so much more sense now that you hear it. Like at first you're like, wow, that's a really incredible. But like when you find out that like, oh my gosh, like not in the movie, like you actually have to search this outside of it, but
Mhm.
like I can't tell who it was, if it was like Reeves or Abrams, but they were saying that like the
Oh, that's right.
creature.
J.J. Abrams was also a part of the project too.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
huge producer and head of the entire thing.
yeah,
The creature itself, like it's an infant that is genuinely scared and trying to find its mother, which when you hear that
yeah,
sounds really sad. And it
yeah,
makes so much more sense now. It's lashing out. And when you get that piece of information, like that's why I like rewatching Cloverfield like a ton of times over and over again, especially with friends theorizing with them. It is so much fun because one of the things that like Abrams is really great at that he gets a lot of flack for nowadays, but mostly because of, hateful Star Wars fans like myself, like give him for it. Um, but Abrams is a really talented and creative person when it comes to the mystery box, and he does it so perfectly with Cloverfield.
hmm
And he did it really perfectly with The Force Awakens as well. It's just
hmm
the only thing that like is a huge bummer is when he finally does answer those questions, and a lot of people get disappointed. But that's neither here nor there. We're not talking about Star Wars. We're talking about one of the most incredible monster movies of all time. And dude, that design for Cloverfield is so
It
immaculate.
that is the name of the thing.
Clover. Dedicated Cloverfield fans named it Clover.
Hmm.
And it just took on a life of its own. So its name is unofficially Clover. James,
Okay.
would you like
Yes.
to learn a little bit more about the origins of Clover?
Yes. Real quick, I think I was wrong about the distance between the Statue of Liberty to Times Square. I think
Oh,
that it's about, I think like 11 and a half miles. And then the kind of like end ish of the Brooklyn Bridge, a little shorter than that. But again, not confident. But yes, had to go off on that one. Go
okay. So do you know about the marketing of this entire movie and
vaguely. I went back and watched a lot of their commercials.
dude, wow. So the
Bring it.
marketing for this movie is so in depth
Mhm.
that like they created websites,
Mm,
they created extra videos,
that's
but
right.
you have to search them out. Like they're like breadcrumbs. They're like
Yeah.
puzzle pieces you have to put together.
It was kind of
And
like the Batman's
so
marketing.
barely.
Well, just like the creating of that website and
Yeah.
generating chatter. Yeah.
But this was that, but on steroids.
Mm,
It was nuts.
mm.
So I'm just gonna give you the quick, bare, like, like just, surface level, like, all this information you can find out there. There's like a ton of YouTube videos of more, smarter people who know the better than me. You also, I have to stop cussing because I know that you
It's all
censor.
no, it's all good. It's all good. It's all good.
Um, so Slusho was this like in-universe company that, like, they created those drinks, like those icy drinks or whatever. And Slusho you could actually see throughout the entire like Cloverfield universe. It's like it's a blink and you miss it. It's like Pizza Planet for the Pixar movies.
Yeah, the Pixar car. Yeah.
Um, but Slow Show is like, I think it's like a Japanese company. Well, they were taking like nectar from the beast, the clover monster that was like deep in the ocean, where like you see at the end the satellites hit the ocean and it
Mm,
awoke the beast.
mm.
And it, that's when it like starts coming out and everything like that. So like in the universe, like it wasn't, I don't even know if it was an alien or if it came from the sea, like one or the
Well,
other.
okay. I don't want to go ahead of what we're doing here, but in one of the three Cloverfield movies, there is something that happens, and because of what happens, the first movie takes place.
Yeah.
So it's like this movie is not like one. Well, it's not like one, two, three. It's like while one is happening, two is beginning, and then while one has happened, three is over. I guess that makes sense.
Yeah. I
Which,
think
by the way, two is way better than one. I don't know how they made the sequel way better,
it's not an official sequel though.
but well,
Like
it's a part of this. Like
they're still working on it, from what I've heard.
I know, I really hope they do something different with this next one, but I think what would be considered the sequel in this story franchise, I think, is way better.
Yeah. I think the closest we've gotten to a sequel like that was because, like, with the second, we didn't want to talk about the second.
I know we can't. I
Real
know.
quickly, real
Nope,
quickly,
no,
guys,
nope, not even
real
quickly. We
quickly.
cannot do
No,
this.
no, because this
We're
is a good
breaking
point, James.
format.
This is a good point, James.
Bring it. All right.
In the sequel, we
Mhm.
don't get any Clover monsters. We do
No.
have we do see the Slusho. We do see the Slusho like ad. All
Oh,
right, and they are on 10 Cloverfield Lane. But and apparently the guy that like was working there, like, he was a part of, all of, I think he was the person that named it Clover because of where he lived, where it was Cloverfield. So, but like it was mostly dealing with aliens, but not really the Clover monster.
hmm.
But God, wow, dude, these movies, I think I bit off more than I can chew. There is
I know
so
we got it.
much
I
to
know
talk
there's a lot
about
to
with
talk
this.
about, but here's what I do want to talk about. I want to talk about the budget for this movie. So the budget for this movie is only $25 million, which I think is pretty low for something like this. Which is, I think,
Yep.
for a movie that did as good as it did, it's terrific. So budget was 25 million. Opening weekend made 40 million. So that's almost, it's 10 less than double. Total gross was 172 million, which I think is, you can definitely call that a success. But I think what this movie I think does so perfectly in is something I don't think a lot of more found footage movies could do, is that the way they made you feel at the end is like shattered. Because if I mean, like I said in the very beginning, spoiler filled. So if you're still here, you're cool with it. But we're trying to be less. But we're talking about a whole movie here. In one of the things on IMDb says, it's crazy edits or goofs, whatever. One of them is that in the closing credits there is garbled radio transmission, which some say sounds like "help us," and sometimes played backwards it says "it's still alive," which I've heard naturally when it's playing through. Like I don't have to rewind it. But like that's such a cool way that when you're sitting in
Yeah.
there, when like after seeing this really like pulse pounding movie, because from start to finish, you get this like, oh, what's going on? And then giant head of Statue of Liberty. Then you're down in the tunnel scene, crazy good. Then you get to the ending of it, and then you're face to face, and then this whole like kind of like deep sigh you get because you're holding your breath the entire time. is just insane. It's like a sense of relief, but you don't feel relieved.
No, it's an emotionally, it's a gut punch because
Yeah.
you knew regardless, because they were going to airstrike,
Hmm.
so like regardless they were dead anyways.
Yeah,
And
and the way they even end that movie, where you can kind of hear it roaring towards them.
yeah,
Yeah,
and it just it's haunting.
it's a bit haunting.
It really is haunting.
Yeah,
And it really just solidifies just the feeling of like dread, because and during this entire movie, like there are a few moments where you're just like in awe of like, wow, like this movie still holds up.
yeah.
Wow, that monster looks really cool. Wow, I'm caring about these characters, and I don't
Hmm.
really care too much, but like, I'm starting to get to know them a little bit better, and I'm on this journey with them. And
Yeah.
it's just this rocket roller coaster of just like getting from point A to point B, but in the background there's this monster that is just, and then
It's just there.
you get the best look at Cloverfield when like the sun is starting to rise, and you can see like it's TJ Miller holding the camera
Yeah,
from helicopters,
yeah.
and it looks terrifying. And
It's
during the daylight too, not that close-up shot you see where you can definitely tell it's CGI, where like like where it just goes
but
into the,
it's still good. Like it's
it's
not
still
like
good. It's still
dated,
good.
but it's
It looks
still good.
better from the distance though, like when it's like a little bit like,
Yeah, well, because there's a movie that I think did it good where you see the monster but for a brief second and you hear the monster, and I think what really made it such a good movie was that I think it was 2014 Godzilla, the one with Bryan
mm-hmm.
Cranston, because
Underrated movie.
so stupid good. And I think that truly is the last good Godzilla movie we've gotten in a long time. Because King of Monsters, I did not enjoy. Kong versus Godzilla is a movie, and I hope that the next one,
It
whatever it's
is.
called, King Kong versus the giant orangutan. I
I
mean, I'm
think
still
King
100% gonna watch it. Hold on. King
King
Kong.
Kong and Godzilla, I think. It's like a team up.
It is 100% team up. But I just know that I think like I don't know what the name of it is called. Oh, it's called Godzilla King Kong The New Empire. So it's 100% happening. And they had sent out, or they released I want to say like teaser promo thing, but the
Yeah.
bad guy in the movie is going to be a giant orangutan. And I think, and orangutans naturally are pretty like wild. Like they got some arm strength, man. So Godzilla versus King Kong is gonna be pretty good. But I
I
just want
can't
one
wait to
moment.
watch
I just want
20
one
minutes
moment.
of King Kong and Godzilla,
I
and
can
then
watch
when
the
they
last 20 minutes. The last
yeah.
one. No, when they do the actual fight, that's where it's like, cool. It's kaiju versus kaiju. Sweet. But I just want one moment in the new Godzilla versus King Kong movie where they see the orangutan, let's say pop out of the ground or through a mountain. And Godzilla and King Kong don't even look at each other. They just do like the whatever they do. And then they just do like a fist bump from the side, like Rick Flag and the supposed Robin was gonna do in Suicide Squad that we never got to see. And then just
What?
yeah, that scene never happened.
Wait, hold on. Repeat
Okay,
yourself.
so
Robin?
it was rumor that Rick Flag and that guy he was working with, Scott Eastwood, I think it was. Um, yeah, Scott Eastwood, I think it was.
Yeah.
That was like rumored, I think, to be Robin undercover. I think that's what I remember hearing. Maybe that
That
was just a fan rumor. I remember.
would have been cool.
I know,
That could have been Jason.
different movie, different episode. But I'm just saying that's what I remember hearing. I don't know if that was actual fan rumor or that was whatever. But I remember that scene with the fist bump never made it in the movie, like a lot of that movie. But that's just what I want. I want Kong and Godzilla to fist bump before they go mess up an orangutan. That's all I
Dude,
want.
all I want is more
Not that
human
hard.
characters. That's why I watch those movies, is
I
for the
just want
human.
I want the orangutan to like scream something and Kong go, "Why did you say that name?" I
Dude,
want another Martha with a giant orangutan. Bottom line of this movie, what do you rate it out of 10?
what would I rate it out of 10?
So not like what actually, and after you answer that, I do have another question. Then we'll wrap it up here. But um, I like not what you first felt about this movie, but rewatching it, where do you feel like it lands in there?
Rewatching it, it has to be on my greatest movies of all time list.
Wow.
And that list is always given a 10. All right.
Okay.
I can and I give tens based off of feeling. And
Mhm.
I'm like I understand that like it came out, it's a relic of its time. It's 2008. Not everything's gonna be
But
perfect,
it's a
but
good relic, like the Mona Lisa.
it's yeah, it's a great relic. Like the Mona Lisa, she's not attractive, but the painting's beautiful.
Not my
You know,
type, but
not my type.
I like a woman with a little,
Am I a
expression.
horrible person for saying that? I don't know.
She's a painting. I mean, I know
Okay,
she
cool.
was a real person,
Yeah.
but
I don't know her. So anyway, um and anyway,
yeah,
I
Colin, we
have to
don't
give
know
it a
her. We never
10.
had the chance to hang out with Ms. Lisa.
She might be a bad person. And
She never tipped waiters.
the feeling that I get is it, I don't know. It's just one of those movies where like you walk away, but it gave you a certain feeling of like, just deep weighted heaviness that you
Satisfiedly
have to give it
uncomfortable.
props.
Yeah,
What what's up?
it's a term I've made. It was called satisfiedly uncomfortable, where it's like,
Satisfyingly uncomfortable.
yeah, where it's like, damn, like the Batman movies. It's so like not the Batman movies, the Batman movie, because the Matt Reeves one, where you're like, dang, that was an intense movie, but that's a damn good Batman movie. Like
Mm-hmm.
like that. Like, it's wild. But still, that's the kind of feeling I agree. I wouldn't give it a 10. I give it a 9 because it's the rewatchability is insane. It's so, so good. But you
Yeah.
have to have done it within, I'd say, 2 or 3 years apart. Because last time I saw it, my current girlfriend and I were just starting to date. And that was like her step into the horror genre. Like, I know it's not considered naturally horror, like it's not
But there's a
commonly
lot of
horror.
horror elements in it.
Absolutely. So I only like what I consider horror. I just would consider would fall into the genre, not what I would consider into the actual category of like horrorish movies. Like when you think of horror movies, you think Exorcist, Paranormal Activity, Insidious. You think all like those different movies like that.
Evil Dead.
Evil Dead. You like genuinely ramp up horror. But I think elements included still count. Now, if it's like subtle
Especially
elements,
that tunnel sequence. That tunnel sequence is just ripped out of a horror movie.
dude, that's so good though. It's so well done, and I can't even begin to.
Those effects look amazing.
It looked good, dude. I mean, it's 2008. I think because 2008, 2000, let me put it like 2002 to 2010 were really good special effects years. Now, I know not perfect special effects years. I know we had a lot of, misses in that year, but for bigger,
Oh, really? I don't remember.
shut up.
Spider-Man 3,
Hey, 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 hey,
Transformers 2.
hey, shut up. I said not all of them, but I am meaning movies that actually people
I
remember.
think those two actually came out in 2007. Anyway,
No,
sorry.
I think Transformers, what was it? Rise of the Fallen or something like that?
Revenge of the Fallen.
Revenge of the Fallen. That came out in 2009. And then what was it? What was the one you just said?
Spider-Man 3 came out in
Spider-Man came
2007.
out that came out in 2005, I think.
No, 2000. That was
Seven.
Spider-Man 2, but
Seven.
that came out in 2004, I believe.
Yeah. No, 2003 was Spider-Man 3 was 2007, and Spider-Man 2 was, I think that was actually, oh, 4. That's right. And then Spider-Man um Man was 2002.
Yeah.
So there
So
you
I
go.
was completely wrong with those two comments,
But
but
what I'm trying to say is that like bigger movies that people remember from those years, Pirates of the Caribbean, or yeah, I got crap on TikTok for when I was saying that whole thing earlier. Caribbean. Um, hopefully I'm saying that right. I'm hesitant with those. It's like crayon and crayon.
own it, own
It's
it.
like
Who
caramel and
cares?
caramel. I flip it. I never mean to. But so Pirates of the Caribbean, great special effects. You have the Davy Jones with the squid tentacles, or you have the skeleton people from the first movie. Spoilers, I guess, but it's a 20-year-old movie. Go watch it.
At this rate,
Isn't that freaky to you though? That Pirates One is a 20-year-old movie.
and it ages like it
The
it it,
finest wine, just
it
beautiful.
ages like Mega Pint. It just freaking yeah.
Okay, I just gotta finish this point.
Who cares? He
Ages
won. We wanted him
well.
to win.
Yeah, it ages well. It fits great, and those special effects still stay with you because it's that good. Now, not there were some bad ones, but those ones that we all remember because of those years were like they took their time. Marvel, go back to what you did. You took your time. It's okay. Bottom line, great movie. I really, really do love this movie. They need to kind of do found footage movies more like this and not more of like, I don't know, just like Earth to Echo. It's a fine movie for like a kid's movie, but not something I want to see as a testament to the genre.
Now, I have a question for you.
Uh-huh.
So, with the official sequel to Cloverfield 2,
Mhm.
that it is still being made, would you want us to continue having somewhat of an anthology, and
Oh
or do
yeah,
you, or
100%.
okay,
An anthology because I think what the movies did cool was like, what if this wasn't one spot? What if this was worldly? Because again, waiting till when we get to the movie, the third one explains what happened. And so it doesn't come off as now silly. It comes off as like, what else?
okay,
That's like a fun thought, but I don't want him to do it for the sake of doing it. I wanted to do it for the sake of continuing a good story. That's my thing. I don't want them to make a buck. I know that Hollywood right now is rough because actors and now writers are joining in the strike. So that's fantastic because, dude, I can't even get started on that. We'll definitely talk about that on the podcast. So stay tuned for the next episode 15 coming real soon. But I mean, just it's a wild time. But any other thoughts you have about this movie? Because I think we nailed
it's
everything.
perfect.
Yeah. Go
And
watch it
guys,
right now.
go
It is
watch
on
it.
it is on Prime Video as of right now for free. And then it's also on Showtime if you have Showtime.
And all it takes is
Oh, sorry. No,
89
sorry.
every
It's not
time.
on Prime Video for free. It's on Showtime. I thought it was on Paramount Plus. That's where I watched it. It's not
If you
showing
have
up
to
anymore.
rent it though, if you have to rent it, worth every buck.
Oh, it's so worth it.
Worth it.
I think even, like it's only $4 to rent, no much more than you probably would find it in a bargain bin at Walmart, which is sad because it's super good. Go watch it. Cannot recommend it enough. You got anything else, Colin?
Nothing else for me.
Great. Well, that was the Cloverfield, and this was Cinema Showcase. It's kind of a little segment we're going to be trying doing throughout the rest of the year, continuing all these different things with different movies, with different people. You never know who's going to be on. So make sure to hit that follow button on our Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, wherever you get podcasts. We're there. Also, be sure to follow us on Threads, which we're on now. Threads, TikTok, and Instagram. You can find Threads and Instagram in the same app. You can just check out that there. Tu-Vie Podcast with our logo. That's us. We are really close to getting 4,000 TikTok followers. So there's that. That's
Thank
fun.
you guys
That
so
is a
much.
crazy milestone. Because of a random cocaine shark TikTok. Didn't think it was gonna be doing that good, but I'm super proud of it.
And one last thing, guys,
Yes,
please communicate to us. All right, let us know what you want, what you don't
yeah,
want. You know, like
what you
we
really
want
really
this
want.
community. Yeah, we want this
Yeah.
community to
So
be
tell me what you
involved.
want, what you really really want.
And I'll tell you what you want, what we really, really want. But seriously, like, let us know what you like, what you don't like. We want to continue the series. We want to continue making new videos and we want to make them for you guys. We love entertaining you guys.
Yeah.
So just talk to us.
Yeah, on Spotify, I believe there's a comment section. So if you want us to watch another movie, be sure to let us know. We can totally watch it if it's within our means. I can only handle so much movies. Colin can handle whatever we can throw at him, so he'll be fine. I'll have to probably watch it
I'll be
in parts.
okay.
I have to watch it in parts of daylight and a Bible, probably.
Just don't make me watch Fast and Furious.
We're watching those movies. If you're gonna
Not
maybe
when it
watch a
kills.
horror movie because we agreed to this, I'm making you watch the Fast and Furious movies.
And
That
there's a
means I gotta
closet
watch
in the
10 of
belt over
those.
there. All right. Might want to end the episode.
What are you doing? Did you just walk off set?
What if I just like walked off and never came back?
Dude, that
Like that was the
sucks.
last time you ever heard from me.
You're easily replaceable. You're nothing.
That was a stupid ass bit I just did.
That was fine. Thank you guys again for watching. Be sure to check us out. All everything in the description. Thank
I'm
you guys for
sorry for
watching.
that.
That's
Bye,
all
guys.
good. Oh, also check out our Letterboxd. A lot of good stuff there. So whatever you watch, you can find.
Also, here's my social security number.
No. All right, we're ending the episode here. Bye.